instead. So rather than a cup of tea, I'm going to have a beer because I think I deserve it. Oh. Hello. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who commented on my last video. So about a month ago, I did a video on my honest experience of adopting a Romanian Rescue. It hasn't been easy, but because of the response I've had and it's been really positive, I thought I'll do an update, my 3-month update with how things are going. It's been a bumpy road. It's just over 3 months now that we've had her. We still have a long way to go. It's been a really slow process. In terms of the car situation, she's still not really fully getting in the car. So throw in some food for her, she will jump in, and it's got to the point where she can just about put her paws in. If you don't put any food in, she'll come back out. When you put food in there, she'll just jump straight in, and she's brilliant. She'll eat the food, but then she'll jump straight back out again. So we have been working with the trainer for about a month or so now. It's probably longer than that. I'll see in slow progress, and she is starting to go into a crate as well. So the dog trainer that we've hired has crates in the van. She is getting in on her own, and the dog trainer is spending about an hour a week with her. And of course, like most days, we'll spend some time with her. We'll try and get her in there. A video showing what the update is.
Mommy being a scary boo. Go on. Go on. Good girl. Go back in, and then in. Good girl. Good girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good girl.
I filmed the video last time, literally that week. It was about that week or the week after. We were experiencing some difficulties with her, and I don't know what happened, but she just suddenly stopped walking with me. I couldn't even get up the street without her just completely stopping. It was really bizarre.
This is what she fucking does. Sue, come on.
I leave my front drive, and then all of a sudden she'll just stop. So we put it down to separation anxiety from my partner, but it was really strange because I'd not had trouble walking her before, and then all of a sudden she just suddenly stopped. It was really weird, and I found it really disheartening. I did get really upset about it because it literally just came out of nowhere, and we had to just go straight back to the beginning again, and I had to build my trust with her all over again. So nothing had happened on any of the walks that I can think of that made her step back or made her scared coming on the walk with me. I don't know what it was. It got to the point where just walking up the street became a huge achievement, and I thought, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get over this. I don't know why this has happened. So for about 2 weeks I ended up having to start walking her, try and walk her a lot more on my own, and we basically just had to start all over again. And I got really disheartened, and I preferred my partner coming with me because both of us together going for a walk was a lot more enjoyable than me on my own trying to get her to walk with me. I didn't find it enjoyable at all in the slightest, and I was finding it really stressful. We're at the 3 months now, and so for the past couple of weeks she has now started walking with me. There are some times when I think she is a bit unsure, and she does tend to just plod along behind you as basically like a spoiled teenager, and you think, oh, I just want to go for a walk. Why are you making this difficult for me? and I don't understand where that came from. So my partner had to basically take a step back, and then I had to start being the one where I'd give her instructions, I'd be the one giving all the treats, I'd had to try and walk with her more, but it was difficult because he works from home, so he does all the walking. So I tried to do the evening walk, but I don't really like walking around in the dark on my own anyway. I seem to have overcome that now. She seems to be doing a lot better. Apologies, I just had to stick the lamp on because it was getting a bit dark. The problem we've got at the moment is Susu cannot stop picking crap off the floor. I mean, she's still got this scavenger instinct in her, and she's just got that constant need to eat all the time. So we had a problem recently where we've eaten something off the floor. I don't know what it was because we haven't really changed the diet that much. We were advised by the charity to feed her on dry food, WAGs, which is what we've been doing since we had her. You know, we do give her treats, but if we do give her too much treats, we'll kind of cut down her main meal then. And I'm not sure what happened, but last week she suddenly started behaving quite erratically, and then she ran upstairs and then ran back downstairs again. It was almost like she was terrified of something. So we opened the back door, she just ran outside in the garden and just vomited in the garden, and then she just lay down in there for ages. So I don't know what she'd eaten, but this is the problem we have, is we're trying to teach her leave it, and sometimes she'll listen, but other times she's just like, no, she's just going to completely ignore us. She's just got food on the brain 24/7. She had her way, she would literally be the size of a house now. We've got to be really careful with that. The only thing is I can suggest is maybe putting a muzzle on her, but which is not really something I wanted to do. Recently we've also had her off lead. So going back a few weeks ago, we took her off lead for the first time. We did put a train lead on her, and she was as good as gold. She followed us around pretty much all day, and, well, I say us, she followed my partner around all day. Her recall was absolutely fantastic. She came back to us every time, we treated her every time she came back to us. But over the last few weeks she's been getting a little bit cheeky, and her recall is not as good as it was. Times when we have to put her back on the lead because she's just not paying attention, which is such a shame because we had it almost perfect. When we first had her off the lead, she was coming back every time, but it's got to the point where, like, now, rather than look like an idiot and then constantly calling her, I'll just basically go off and find her or wait for her to come back to us. Every time she's come back to us, which is great, but we could be waiting there for about 5-10 minutes waiting for her to come back because she's got such a high prey instinct that she tends to just run. And as far as we know, she's not caught anything that I know of. I'll be really careful with that, but we've also invested in a tracker. So we bought something called PawFit, and it wasn't cheap. It was about 60 quid we bought off Amazon, and we bought it purely because she has got this issue of running off quite a lot, and although she comes back to us every time, there's been a lot of theft in the area. Dogs getting stolen at the moment is quite worrying, so I thought if we put a tracker on her, we can keep an eye on her, see where you've gone as well. And I think it's quite accurate. There are a few times when we are quite far apart on the map, but I think all in all it is quite accurate, it is quite helpful, and it's got lots of little features on it. So I do recommend getting a GPS tracker if you've got money to spend. I found it beneficial. The point of us just standing there shouting for her because we just know she'll come back my issue is that someone's going to steal her. Seems to be a bit of a problem at the moment. It's also quite good as well that she hasn't got any guarding issues. The last rescue dogs I had, he had really bad resource guarding, so you couldn't go near him. The minute he had hold of something, you couldn't go near him, you couldn't move him. But with Susu, you seem like if she's got something in her mouth, you can literally just take it from her, and she's really good about that. She's not shown any aggression, which is great. I just wish she would stop picking things up off the floor. Yesterday, for example, we went on a long walk, and then she picked up a sheep bone and then just decided to just lay there and start chewing the sheep bone while we were on a walk. So my partner had to go over and basically prise her mouth open and take it from her. But she was fine. You know, we give her a treat afterwards, so we kind of do the whole swap. So we take something from her and then we'll give her something back. And she's been great, with no aggression whatsoever. She is building confidence every day. She is doing really well. I do think it's probably going to take at least a year, if I'm honest, for her to overcome her anxiety, because she's quite noise reactive as well. So any loud noises anywhere, she'll really react to them. She'll get really scared. Could drop a pan on the floor in the kitchen and she'll freak. She'll get really scared, and then she'll be shaking and it's like, oh, it's just I dropped a plate or a pan or something. I just wish she wouldn't be so scared. But again, it's something that she's trying to overcome, trying to build her confidence, and she is doing really well. So I might do another update in a couple of months' time just to see how things are going. But I would like to do one when she's fully in the car and we can finally take her somewhere, because that is the biggest hurdle we got at the moment, is we cannot take her anywhere. Not just because of lockdown, but we can't get her in the car. And the dog trainer has said that she'd rather not push her in there because it'll just set her back. And she's making like really good progress at the moment, and I would hate for that to be ruined. For like if we just bundle her in the car and we'd just have to start all over again. So fingers crossed, we'll get there. It'll take a while. She's doing really well. So as far as I'm aware, she seems to be a really happy dog. She's really enjoying her long walks as well. So we went on a really long walk yesterday. We did nearly 13 miles and she was as good as gold. She was actually better off lead than she was on lead. So she's got this really bad habit of just constantly sniffing and constantly stopping, and you're like, oh, I just want to get somewhere. It just takes twice as long to actually walk somewhere. I don't want to shout at her for it, but it does get really frustrating. It does test my patience, but I'd rather not scare her. We try and just ever so slightly encourage her to just keep walking rather than just constantly stop.
You're like a Disney Bambi thing. Oh, you're
Sue, come. Good.
So Susu is getting a lot more confident as well with dogs, which is a huge achievement, because when we did have her, she was absolutely terrified and she would cower behind us every time we saw a dog. But now she's the first one to go up and sniff a dog, but I also think she's actually quite a good judge of character. The dog trainer said that she's actually quite a polite dog, and she's not really in their face, so yeah, she'll kind of slowly go up to them and see if it's okay to sniff, and then as soon as they show that they're fine to play, she'll just go running, and she just loves to be chased, and it's so adorable watching her play because she's really come out of her shell, and it just makes life so much easier. The videos that I've posted of her playing with dogs is actually from back in December, so they were my friend's dogs, and it was also when we were allowed to bubble, so I wasn't breaking any lockdown rules, just in case anyone's wondering. Watching her play was a huge achievement for me, and she's just got better and better, and the fact that it's easier off lead as well, she doesn't feel so restricted. We had a problem where dogs that were off lead coming towards her would make her panic really bad, and sometimes she would bare her teeth and she would yelp and she'd try and run away, and of course she can't because she's on the lead. So now if she ever feels like threatened, she tends to she can back away or she can run away, but she's come back every time.
That is an old woman's stereotype. Children mistakes, they just run around.
Go on.
Yay!
Good girl. Good girl,
I also found that she's also quite stubborn. She is like a stubborn old woman. I say old because they estimated that she was between 4 and 6. I don't know. We're not sure how old she is, to be honest. We found that sometimes if she doesn't want to go where you want to go, she will just stop. And my partner did recently have a problem where he was trying to walk her, and they were walking fine, they went for their walk, and then on the way back home, she wasn't done with having fun, so she just stopped. And my partner did this in his lunch break, so he was like really desperate to get home, and all she did was just stop, and he tried calling her and, you know, tried treating her, and she just wasn't having any of it, so we ended up having to pick her up and then carry her. She wasn't very happy with that one, but it was the only way he could get home quick enough. So he has found that she is getting a bit stubborn, so if she's not ready to end the walk, then she'll just basically plant her feet on the floor and decide no, which is a bit frustrating. She's also started sleeping in the bedroom with her, so it's not a problem. I quite enjoy having her in her bed next to us, and it's really funny because as soon as we go to bed, you'll hear her come up the stairs, she'll go into her bed, and then she'll curl up, and then probably about an hour or so later she'll decide that she's had enough, and then she'll bugger off back downstairs again. But apart from that, she's been really well behaved. We did have an issue recently where it was probably our fault. Normally we take her for a walk late at night, so between 8 and 10 o'clock, so it is quite late, and that's when she goes for a pee and a poo. But this time we decided not, I think it was getting a bit too late, and we decided not to take her out, but we let her in the garden instead. So, but she didn't do her business, so we assumed it was okay. Come the middle of the night, she was getting really restless and kind of pacing back and forth in the bedroom, and I thought, well, something doesn't feel right here. And it was our fault, we didn't respond to her quick enough, and she did end up going to the toilet, and basically she shat her brains out in my office, and I didn't realise until the next morning when I got it for work, and it was there all over my floor. So we've learned from that one, and to be fair to her, that she hasn't gone to the toilet in the house since the first time we had her. So for the first week or so she was going to the toilet in the house, but she has been pretty good. So that one, we will take blame for that one, because we should have taken her for an evening walk, because for some reason she doesn't really go in the garden anymore. She tends to just go to the toilet on her walk. She's pretty good when it comes to being toilet trained. So thank you so much for watching. Last video that I posted, I was really appreciative of all the comments I had. I did read every single one of them, and I took on board everything that people said to me, and it's been brilliant. So thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been really helpful. Any questions or any advice, please let me know.